Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to debug your Karma project in Visual Studio Code. So in order to do that, you're going to need three things. First thing, obviously, you're going to need a Visual Studio Code installed. As you can see, I have already installed Visual Studio. If you need to do it on your own, just go to Visual Studio Code webpage and you'll be able to download the latest build from there. Second thing you're gonna need is debugger for Chrome extension for Visual Studio. To do that, you just want to press Ctrl or Command P and just type X install and then debugger for Chrome, and it will find the proper extension for you, which is this one. However, I have it already installed, so I will skip this step. And also you obviously need a project using Karma. Okay, so we have Visual Studio Code and debugger extension installed. Let's just go straight and create a Karma project. So I will create a just random directory. Let's name it, I don't know, like foo. So just create a dummy folder, go into this folder, and here let's use just Yeoman and generator Karma to quickly create a Karma project. First, let's install Yeoman and the Karma generator itself. So you just want to go and bam, install G, because this is a global package, and generator Karma. Yeah, it will take some time, so let's wait. Okay, so here I have my Karma generator installed. You can see that not a lot of output is going on, just because I have already installed it for you. It might be a little bit more verbals in terms of installation information. And now let's generate the actual project. So Karma, and now we want to pass a couple of switches. First, and the most important thing, we want to specify that use browsers. We want to use a Chrome browser. If we wouldn't specify it, it will simply use a Phantom.js, which is not something that we want to do here. We also going to specify application files already, so the created Karma project, Karma config, has already our files included. Just like that. And now we want to also add our test files. Go up matcher. So our test will sit in test directory here. And we also want to set the base path, because by default the Karma generator will put the Karma config inside test direct, and we want to simply serve files from the workspace root, right? So in this case from foo directory. Okay, let's just hit enter. So it will create all the necessary things for us. Okay, now that we have all the dependencies in place, we can just open this project. So we'll open in code, just a dot here, since we want to open the project in this directory, but we also specify that we want to open a Karma config instantly, right? Okay. I'll just close the other Visual Studio instance. So we got our Karma config open. As you can see, all the config that we set previously is reflected here, right? So file is going to be served from src and test directory, and the base path is set to the root workspace root, right? because this is relative to karma config, which is in test directory. Okay, and we also should have Chrome used as a browser over here, right? That's great. Now what we want to do is adjust the karma configuration. So basically how it's gonna work is that Karma will open a Chrome instance that will listen, which developer tools will listen on a specific port, and Visual Studio Code Chrome debugger extension will hook up to this port, and from there it will basically drive the Chrome window, right, attached to it. So to do that, we will have to create a custom launcher, which will pass proper flags to Chrome binary to listen on a given port, right? And you want to put this Chrome debugging over here, which is this value, right? This key rather. You can treat it as basically a set of profiles for your browsers. Okay. So that's all we have to do in Karma config for the moment. Now let's set up let's save it first, and let's go to let's set up the debugger settings. So again, you want to Ctrl P, or actually you can go with F1 because it will already start the command execution for you. And you want to type launch JSON. At first, it will create an example config from a template for you. Since we pretty much know what we want to do, we'll just clear it out and create our one option for to have to have it clean. So you want to add your configuration. So it's gonna be type of Chrome. Request is going to be type of attach. By the way, Visual Studio Code is here amazing because it just tells you all the properties, so that's the property integration. Let's name it simply attach Karma Chrome. Address, you can leave it just here. We are using localhost for launching it, so that's good. Port, we set the port to, as you may recall, we set port to 9333, so that's what we want to have here. Okay, 9333. And now the funny part is path mapping. Path mapping is basically, it basically specifies maps, that simply URLs on your web server to your local addresses, right? Because you might serve the web page under a completely different URLs with some sort of of address prefix. And this is actually the case in Karma, because Karma by default will serve you files with like base, whatever, test, Karma, test, whatever, JS, right? So it will, add this base path at the beginning. And this is exactly why we need to add another rule here, which is base. So our files prepended with base directory sets in workspace root. Okay. Just one note here. Currently, you make to be sure that your path here, your key ends with a tailing slash. So otherwise, it won't match. I think it's going to be fixed very soon because that was just a minor bug. But at the moment, you want to be sure that you add this, this slash over here. Okay, so that will be our configuration for the launch. Now we can switch to our test, right? So let's create test file in our full directory test. Let's name it simply example.js. All right. So this file will use the default framework, which is Jasmine. So let's create some tests. So we're gonna create a describe. I don't know, like example. Now let's create a test case. And we want to call, let's say, I don't know, store the res variable, a result of our call to my function. This is going to be a global function. And we expect it to return to be, this is the way how we will type it here, to be, I don't know, like true, right? Okay, reformat it, reduce the spacing because it looks bad. Okay, so this is our test. Now we want to create this my function, right? So create a new file, save it. Let's create src directory where our source is gonna see it. All right. Let's create this this global function. Window my function function. Let's take one argument. I don't know, like e or whatever. And now what we want to do is we want to check if e is greater or equal 10. Return true. Else return false. Reformat it so it's nice and clean. Okay, and let's go back here and add a missing argument, right? Because we added e missing argument. First thing, let's make that the test will fail. So let's pass like 0 here. So it's obviously gonna fail because it returns true only for value greater or equal than 10, right? And let's set a breakpoint before that. So yeah. Okay, so we are ready here. All we have to do now is to run our karma test. It was mapped by default to karma test. I mean to npm test, you know, command. So running this will start karma server. Okay, we can see that the browser opened. That's great. Now the browser is opened. It's listening on our 9343 port, but we did not yet attach our the debugger, right? So what we want to do here is, well, we have multiple ways to launch a debugger, to attach the debugger, right? Either you can go to, you know, to this debug tab. You can see that here we have attached karma chrome, right? The config that we specified over here in this file. You can also run it from, you know, from the command palette, right? So then debug. Possibly it should be somewhere here, or start debugging. So this option. Of course, the most convenient option is just to press F5. And yeah, and it's connected. And note that it did not stop on our breakpoint just yet, because test did not rerun, right? If you see here, it was executed only once in the output, right? But we have super convenient way to, actually I will reorganize those windows here. We have super convenient way to refresh the browser here. And there is a button for restarting the browser. It will basically refresh the Chrome instance. As you can see, it's bound to Control or Command R. So just you can press it there, and you can see that nothing happens, right? That's beautiful. Okay, jumped for the second time for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why it didn't work for the very first time, but let's just, you know, go back to the debugging, right? So the breakpoint has stopped. We can go inside the function with F11. Not really sure if it was the default hotkey, but yeah. But basically a step into, right? You can see that we went into our source directory, right? So we have our my function. We can say that that our e is equal to 0. We can go one step, so F10. You can see it gets to the else statement, right? And it's in turn it's gonna return false, right? So let's step out of the function, and obviously it's gonna throw the exception here. So let's continue. Okay, the test has failed. Okay, that's enough. So let's change our test to, I don't know, like 20, right? Meanwhile, I had to restart the kernel because of the timeout disconnects. So you can see now that it has the res is equal to true, right? You can always use the debug console below to create some other things, like I don't know, type of res, and it's gonna result to boolean string, right? And so on and so forth. So yeah, now we can see that the assertion is passing and everything is good. So yeah, this is it. This is how we pretty much can set up to your Karma and debugger in the Visual Studio Code. It's been working nice for me. It had some quirks here and there. Not entirely sure what is the reason for those. I think those will be addressed very soon because the extension is actively maintained, so I wouldn't be too much worried about that. Alright, so this is it. I will create a GitHub repository where I will put all the files so you can play with it on your own. Also I will describe it in a blog post, so there is also a written version of this. If you have any question, feel free to put a comment on a blog post, or you can always shoot me at Twitter, so I'll be able to answer you and help you if I am able to. Alright, so thank you very much. Bye.